Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah, technical difficulties. We kicked off. Let's see. Hopefully I'm, does anybody, can you guys see me? I hope. Let's see. Come on. Go over there. Let's go to that. Let's see if this is running. Okay, good. So that's going. Now let's see if Facebook's got me. Yep, Facebook has me. Okay. And X has got me. So who doesn't have me? There we go. All right. Oh my gosh. Yes, I know you guys started the show already because I was watching you in the chat. I have absolutely no idea what happened, but the server, apparently the server that I normally connect to, basically, for whatever reason, the server just is not there. So I had to go and like do some other things and everything else. But hey, it looks like you guys have already taken care of the show on Rumble. For those of you on YouTube, Facebook, and X, well, too bad. Anyway, you guys have done such a fantastic job starting the show. This looks like I'm going to be running a little bit behind today, but that's okay. All right. So all of that being said, yeah, I'm not going to do the ads, but I am going to do the pledge. So, this is, who is, oh yes, Coco Cam and Sean. Coco Cam and Sean are the, wait, my voice and everything are up. Okay. Interesting. Oh, dropped frames. Okay. So I'm having some challenges here. You guys hold on, and I will be right back. Stay there. All right. Am I back? Okay. Looks like I'm back. Somewhat. Oh, yeah. All right. So everything seems to be okay. So is everything okay now? Are we all right? Refresh. Refresh yourself. Come on. Refresh. Come on. Facebook is gone. Looks like. What about X? X. Let's go here. All right. So X, yeah, X is live. Let's see, Facebook. Let's dive out of whoops. Scheiße. Dive out of Facebook and go back in. Did Facebook recover? Yeah. All right. How are we doing? How are we doing? Come on, go to live. All right. Well, you know what? I'm not going to mess around with Facebook. I don't know what the hell Facebook's got going on or whatever, but Yeah, we're just going to have to. Facebook's just going to have to survive, I guess, without us. Let's see. Or I'm going to have to survive without Facebook. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Facebook, too bad. Too bad, so sad. All right, we're not going to deal with this. We're just going to go ahead and go. And yeah, so YouTube is good, X is good, and it looks like Rumble is good. So, all right, there we go. All right, we'll just have to deal with the other stuff later. Okay. Yeah, there you go. We'll just put it on the Facebook page. All right, let's go ahead and do this. I want to do Coco, Cam, and Sean because those folks are my favorite. So, or one of my favorites for the Pledge of Allegiance. So, if you are of mine, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one like me, and otherwise place your hand over your heart, and let's follow along with Coco, Cam, and Sean as they recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, folks. Oh, Bonnie, I got plenty of favorites. Anyway, if you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting the pledge in your style, and then, of course, send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. All right, let's get things going. I am not going to read my headline sponsor because realistically, I don't really have my sponsor stuff up because I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. All right, so the United States is preparing to evacuate or has evacuated the embassy in Iraq. There have been a couple other places, other embassies, Bahrain and Kuwait are sending non-essential personnel home. They're basically they all are because of the fact that Israel is now reportedly gearing up to bomb Iran because Iran is being shits, literally. And so, yeah, they basically are planning on taking out the nuclear facilities because Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Let's just put it that way. Okay, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And so, yeah, they're just... That's what they're doing. And so that's why non-essential personnel and things like that, there's even some dependents and stuff from over in the Middle East on military bases are being evacuated as well. So the expectation is that Israel is potentially going to hit Iran soon. And if that happens, well, yeah, we'll just have to deal with it when it comes. But all right. So there's all of that. Now, from the FAFO files, this one's a real good one. The FAFO files, Senator Alex Padilla. Now, he's a California United States Senator. Well, his dumbass decided to go and interrupt a Department of Homeland Security statement by Kristi Noem. Here's the thing. So I've got some video clips that I want to play for you that are going to demonstrate, or that are going to show a couple of different angles of this particular scenario. And, yeah, we're going to have to take a look, in terms of what's going to happen. But he put out a statement where he basically said, hey, all I did was like show up and I'm just there. While I was waiting for a scheduled briefing with a general, I learned that Secretary Noem was having a press conference. Now, it wasn't a press conference. It was a press statement. But anyway, we have repeatedly asked the Trump administration for answers on the deployment of military forces and the needless escalation. We've already covered a lot of this. But anyway, he says, He's gotten limited to no information. I attended Secretary Noem's press conference in hopes of getting some answers. Here's the thing. He claims he identified himself and was attempting to ask a question. And he claims that he was aggressively pushed out of the room, forced to the ground, and handcuffed. Yeah. And so here is the video. Let me make sure that this actually, hopefully this will work. Here we go. So here is the video that is circulating on all the social media outlets of the incident. So yeah, let's.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your heads off.
How many of our ICE agents have been doxxed, how they have been targeted.
Okay, so again,
I have questions for the secretary.
There he says he says what he has said. Okay, he quote unquote ID'd himself by saying I am Senator so on and so forth. Okay, yeah. So here is a different angle. Now, by the way, that's the one that Chuck Schumer posted. And that's the one that Chuck Schumer is saying, oh, yeah, this is so bad, so bad. Well, here is a longer video that isn't selectively cut. So let's take a listen and see what exactly happens before what they are posting.
I don't know why you insist
So I want
on
to say thank you
exaggerated
to every
and
single
embellishing.
person that has been able to do
Hands
this.
up, hands up.
Also, I want to
I'm
talk
Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically how many of
Okay.
our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty.
So you
how they
can't
have been
really
targeted,
see it
and
from
how their
this
families have been
angle,
put in jeopardy, what
but
they have tried to insert
Secretary, I don't
into
know
the
why you
city.
insist
So I
on
want to say thank you
exaggerated
to every
and
single
embellishing.
person that has been able to do this.
Hands up, hands up.
Also, I want to
I'm
talk.
Senator.
okay. So you'll hear he starts off with just barging in and attempting to interrupt her when she's making her statement. Now, here is a different angle of what is going on, and you might be able to see a little bit more with this one.
Tried to
Madam
insert
Secretary, I want to know why you
into the
insist
city. So I want
on
to say thank you to
exaggerated
every
and
single
embellishing.
person that has been able to do this.
Hands up, hands up.
Also, I want to
I'm
talk
Senator Alex Padilla.
specifically
I have questions for the secretary because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about specifically.
Ground. Hands behind your back.
Now, here's what happened
Hands on your
after.
back.
If you let my hands go ahead, put behind my back. All right.
Cool. Hands with good hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
Here you can see a bunch of FBI agents and FBI agents and local
Tried to
police.
insert
Secretary, I want to know why you.
Okay, so here's the thing. They're in Los Angeles, all right? They're in Los Angeles. And this guy comes in and he doesn't even, first of all, he didn't have his pin that normally identifies that he's a senator. He apparently doesn't have any kind of credentials to kind of show what it is or who it is. He's not really dressed like a senator. He is dressed in just jeans, and it looks like some sort of a blue shirt that he threw on. He literally has no outward identification whatsoever. So he could sit here and say, hey, I'm a senator. He could say that for all day long. I could say I'm a senator. Hell, half the people that I know don't even know who their senators are or even what they look like. I unfortunately know because both of mine are stupid morons. But anyway, moving on. So the first thing that he does is he goes and he kind of charges in on this statement that Kristi Noem is reading. He charges in. Now that, first of all, that's part of the problem. Okay. That's part of the problem, is that he charges in to attempt to interrupt what's going on here. And to interrupt her rather than standing back, waiting for the question and answer and, raising his hand, being polite, that kind of thing. And the problem that we have with this is, first of all, even though he's a senator, okay, he doesn't get carte blanche to just like barge in like that and be extremely rude. He really doesn't. And again, just these people, they seem to think that because they've ran the country and ran things for so long that they're not going to, they're not going to find out if they FA, that they're not going to find out anymore. Well, Dan Bongino sets the record straight. He posted on X, with regard to the incident in LA this afternoon, the senator in question was not wearing a security pin and physically resisted law enforcement when confronted. Our FBI personnel acted completely appropriately while assisting Secret Service, and we are grateful for their professionalism and service. So here's the thing, again, folks, I'm just going to point this out, all right? A senator or congressperson, okay, meaning like a representative, House of Representatives, they do have a privilege from arrest. And I'm showing it to you here. It's under Article 1, Section 6, Clause 1, Paragraph 2. And it essentially states that the members of Congress shall be protected in their persons from arrests and imprisonments during the time of their, now again, listen very closely, going to and from and attendance on Congress. And then it throws in a couple of exceptions where it says, except for treason, felony, or breach of peace. Oh, that last one is the one that comes in. Oh, what do you think barging in on a press conference like that is? I would say that counts as a breach of peace. I would say that that by itself counts as a breach of peace. Well, so now, let's be honest. He's in LA. He's outside of Congress. He's not going to Congress. He's not going from Congress. This whole idea that because they happen to be a senator or a representative or, some member of, no. He is not immune from arrest, just like MacIver is finding out. Representative MacIver is finding out she's been indicted by 3 counts. I told you that last night. These people don't seem to get it. They don't have complete 100% immunity. And what's even worse is the fact that he wasn't even wearing any kind of identifying feature. Now, there's a pin that they're supposed to wear that is on his jacket or would have been on his jacket had he been that way. But no, what he essentially did is that he wanted to charge in. He wanted to interrupt the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. He wanted to have his point in the spotlight. He wanted to get this done. Now, I don't blame the FBI agents or the Secret Service for what they did. I really don't. I don't blame them one bit whatsoever. Okay? And whether or not he's doing Congress business doesn't fall within his constitutional ability of being immune from arrest. Okay? Law enforcement did their job. They did what they needed to do. They did it, and it was constitutionally done. Just like what Trump has been doing in LA just like what ICE has been doing all across the country. These people need to understand they are not above the law. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I seem to recall, yeah, I recall the Democrats all saying that no one is above the law. Well, guess what? He is above the law. No, he's not. He thinks he is, but he's not. He's not above the law. And he's definitely not above getting taken down by police, and especially when he starts resisting. See, that's the thing. When the officer or the Secret Service agent says go, it starts to push him out because, again, he aggressively approaches the podium. Whether he intended on doing anything to her, he aggressively approached the podium. When he did that, okay, that became a problem. And immediately, the law enforcement and the Secret Service did their jobs. They are protecting the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, who is under many death threats, probably quite a few by now. And so what is he doing? He is basically, he's basically sitting there and, you know, doing something that he shouldn't be doing. Even if you could like make an argument that he was there for congressional business, he broke the peace. Breach of peace. He broke the peace. He is done. He lost his immunity the minute that he tried to get in and say something to her. Now let's go back. This is the one that has the most of the best sound. Let's go back and let's listen to this. So this is where it all starts.
Tried to insert it in the city. So I want to say thank you to every single person that has been able to do this.
Hands up, hands up.
Also, I want to
I'm
talk
Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the Secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your...
See, now he's resisting. You guys on the audio portion of the program are not going to be able to see this, but he was resisting being pushed out. Folks, I'm just going to tell you. Now, take a look at how he's dressed. He's not in any sort of a coat or a tie or anything like that. He's in jeans and some sort of a blue collared jacket. Okay? So he violated every standard of decency whatsoever. I mean, if a Republican senator had done that, the Democrats would be like, hey, throw the book at that guy. But no, they're not going to do that, because they're going to sit here and cry and whine and say, oh, he's a sitting senator, he shouldn't be. No. Again, the quote from the Constitution: the members of Congress shall be protected in their persons from arrest and imprisonments during the time of their going to and from and attendance at Congress or attendance on Congress, except for treason, felony, or breach of peace. So even if he had immunity, which he didn't, but even if he had immunity, he lost it right at the breach of peace. Right at the breach of peace. So, yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. It just, yeah. So there you go. So that's pretty much it. I mean, he's about as done as what MacGyver is. Honestly. This is, again, he violated normal protocols and wanted to get his 5 minutes of fame, and he went ahead and just jumped in and got, I mean, seriously, folks, this is not how you purport yourself as a sitting United States senator. Anyway. All right, let me get this in real quick before I move on to my next topic. All right, this is a sponsorship from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator, like myself. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook itself admitted that they fell to pressure from the Biden-Harris administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked by brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get that much of the action there. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO to get the $10 off the annual subscription when you purchase it. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, that's okay. We are just happy if you watch us on Rumble. All right. All right, it's time to put this stuff to bed. It's time to put this stuff to bed. And in this particular case, I'm getting a little tired of having, and frustrated, with having to justify the fact that the National Guard on January 6th was refused by Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi and her cohorts, they all seem to think that they can tell you now that, no, we called for the National Guard. The National Guard never showed up. Well, the guy that was in charge that day, by the way, Len, here, let's just, let's go ahead and take a listen to how Nancy Pelosi sort of sloughed this off.
And I say this as a former party chair, when there is a large gathering of people, the anarchists see it as an opportunity and they move in. So always have to be careful whether you see a burned car or broken window or whatever it is. It may be the exuberance of the moment, but it may be the anarchist setting in. I heard one of the former police chiefs of Los Angeles speak about this on Sunday.
So she basically is trying to explain that, it's the exuberance of the moment. Here is a side-by-side comparison of this. She was talking about the exuberance of the moment in this last one, but guess what? Here's the video of her, and it's going to come up on X, but here's the video of her. Hold on. What's going on here? All right. So here's the video of her.
I mean, the National Guard, why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
No, there's not a question of how they had, they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Oh, wait a minute. What was that? Let's see it again.
I mean, the National Guard, why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient
no,
resources.
No, there's not a question of how they had, they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
I take responsibility. Well, you're right. Because the guy that was actually in charge, the chief of police, Chief Stephen Sund, he was the chief of the Capitol Police at the time. He kind of ripped her a new one. Here's the first post. Fact. This is him. Fact, on January 3rd, I made multiple requests for the assistance of the National Guard to help secure the Capitol on January 6th and was denied each time, leaving us unprepared for the attack. Okay, folks, this is the guy. This is him. Here, I don't have it. Like, this is the guy. This is him. This is the guy. Seriously. This is the man who was in charge at the time. And he basically says, on January 3rd, 3 days prior, I made multiple requests for the assistance of the National Guard to help secure the Capitol on January 6th, was denied each time, leaving us unprepared for the attack. Now, he goes on further and he posts this one, which is fact. I made 11 urgent calls requesting National Guard support on January 6th, starting at 12:58 p.m. Approval was withheld for 71 minutes by the House Sergeant of Arms. And here's the key, who reported directly to Speaker Pelosi. Let me say that again. Who reported directly to Speaker Pelosi. She caused critical delays, and now she is trying to shift blame to Donald Trump for the failures she helped create. Guys, I mean, seriously. Seriously. You can't get any more authentic than that. This is the guy that was in charge on that day of the Capitol Police. He was the Capitol Police chief. He is literally saying, I tried to get the National Guard there. I got denied every single time. On January 3rd, the one who denied him was Muriel Bowser. And, of course, Nancy Pelosi. But Nancy Pelosi's in her 80s. She probably doesn't even remember having that conversation, realistically. And she definitely doesn't seem to remember that video where she says straight up, why weren't they there? You know, this is my responsibility. I should have had them there. Yeah. So, yep. I'm done. I'm putting it to bed. If you're a leftist lunatic moron Democrat who still believes that that January 6th was an insurrection, that January 6th, that Donald Trump held back the National Guard on purpose, yeah, all of that is bunk. It's all bullshit. Every single one of them. Okay? That's a lie. It's all a lie. And I just showed you from the words and the mouth, well, technically the thumbs, of the chief of the Capitol Police who was there and was asking for the help, and he didn't get it because of the fact that Nancy Pelosi, who is in charge, denied it. I'm done with that conversation. That is just... Now, there are going to be more ICE raids. They are going all over the place. I know that Seattle itself, Seattle itself is getting some. They've already had some protests going on in Seattle and several other places, in Chicago, and there's some other places. Well, there is a governor who, by the way, I think he might make a presidential run sometime in the near future. And honestly, he probably won't be or won't do that bad of a job. And this particular governor is the governor of Texas. The governor of Texas has decided to proactively deploy National Guard soldiers to several parts of his state in anticipation and preparation for ICE to come in and enforce the law. Okay? And so, yeah. Texas Governor Greg Abbott asserted that he was deploying the Texas National Guard proactively to ensure that there would be no anti-ICE riots in his state. This came as there were reports of possible planned protests, around the Lone Star State. Abbott's office confirmed the deployment in the statement to ABC News, stating that guardsmen were ready to uphold law and order across our state. Abbott's office said in a statement, peaceful protests are part of the fabric of our nation, but Texas will not tolerate the lawlessness we have seen in Los Angeles. Anyone engaging in acts of violence or damaging property will be swiftly held accountable to the full extent of the law. Which, by the way, the looters and rioters in Los Angeles apparently have actually killed somebody. There was reports are that there was a body found on a sidewalk near looted businesses in L.A. So they have an actual casualty now. Abbott followed up with another statement after that. He said, peaceful protest is legal. Harming a person or property is illegal and will lead to an arrest. Abbott added that the Texas National Guard would use every tool and strategy to help law enforcement maintain order. That's a governor. That's a governor. A governor who is not afraid to stand up and say, hey, if you want to peacefully protest, you want to peacefully gather, yeah, you're good. You're good with that. But don't sit here and try and break the law in my state. So there you go. Well, another thing that's been happening, which a lot of people don't know, is that some of the sanctuary state governors were taken to a panel in front of Congress. And the whole thing with this, and this is the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, held a hearing today with the sanctuary state governors of J.D. Pritzker of Illinois, Tim Walz of Minnesota, and Kathy Hochul of New York. California Governor Gavin Newsom was supposed to attend, but he did not. He was absent. So the governors sat there and were basically attempting to defend their sanctuary policies. Anyway, GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer, who is from Minnesota's 6th District, well, he kind of lit into Minnesota's governor, Tim Walz, rightfully so. Let's see if I can find here. Okay, so here is the video. Now this is a long video. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play the first part of it, and then I'll give you a synopsis after that. But here is Tom Emmer going after Governor Tim Walz in his state. Take a listen.
Health care to illegal aliens. You signed the Higher Education Omnibus Bill into law in May of 2023. That bill allows illegals to have their college tuition paid for by the state. You signed the Driver's License for All Act into law in March of 2023, and that bill allows illegals to receive driver's licenses. So, you claim you're not a sanctuary state. You just provide free health care, free college, and driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
Okay, so before I let this go, because this isn't even the best part yet, but before I let this go, I'm just going to point out something. What do you think those driver's licenses are used for if Minnesota asked or somehow just for whatever reason had voter ID? What do you think those driver's licenses are going to be used for? That's right, voter ID. Hello. This, again, comes back to the whole point. I don't think illegal aliens should be able to get any kind of form of ID. But I digress. Let's go back to this, and let's just hear this rip.
One reason you're here testifying before us today is because you refuse to cooperate with ICE. While states like Florida and Virginia empower their law enforcement to detain and remove criminal illegal aliens, you, sir, have done just the opposite. Your Attorney General is directing law enforcement to ignore ICE immigration detainers. Do you agree with the Attorney General's guidance?
Well, Congressman, it's good to see you again, and thank you for being here. First, I would say, as my job as governor of Minnesota is to make Minnesota the best state in the nation.
Do you agree with the Attorney General's guidance?
Congressman, what I would say on this is that Minnesota follows all law. I
Sir,
would say
it's a very easy question. And again, if you claim you're not a sanctuary state, you just claim that you support policies. You're not a sanctuary state, but you support policies that prevent ICE from doing their job.
Congressman,
isn't that right?
That is incorrect, Congressman. We follow the same laws when you were in the Minnesota House. The law has not changed,
If you'll allow me, I've got limited time. Well, that's what you tweeted, by the way, sir. And on May 23rd, 2018, you tweeted, quote, "I support policies that keep law enforcement from enforcing federal laws," close quote. On May 17th, just this spring, at the University of Minnesota Law School's commencement ceremony, you said, quote, "Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets." When you said the words modern-day Gestapo, you were referring to ICE agents. Gestapo, by the way, sir, was the official secret police of Hitler's Nazi Germany. So you're calling ICE agents modern-day Nazis. Given the attacks on ICE agents that took place in Los Angeles over the weekend, don't you regard your dangerous inflammatory rhetoric as a problem?
The questions do you want me to answer first?
So, sir, it saddens me that you refuse to express regret from comparing ICE to Nazis.
I would say the first question that Governor Walz needs to answer is, does he agree with his Attorney General? Does he agree with his Attorney General and that that law enforcement in Minnesota should not comply with enforcing federal law? That would be the first question. Then, of course, the second question would be, do you regret posting these things? Do you have anything else to say? But no. It continues and goes on further, but I'm not going to bore you with the entire thing. But I can tell you that the hearing had some other moments as well from the other governors. And yeah, basically, it's just, these guys, they're just lost. They're just lost. I mean, that's what they are. Now, he continued on, and and a little bit later, he says, in May of 2020, looting, acts of violence, and arson occurred on your watch in Minneapolis after you refused to bring in the National Guard. Governor, your agenda is clear. Free health care, free college, driver's licenses for illegals, while handcuffing law enforcement while they're trying to protect our citizens and their communities. If you think that's not a sanctuary state, you shouldn't be governor. No kidding. No kidding. So, yeah. Oh, these Democrat governors, man, I'm telling you, they're going to get tore up and down the entire situation here. Now, I'm seeing from one of my Whiskey Warrior P1s that it looks like Israel has launched the attacks. Yeah, that Israel has launched the attacks. Unconfirmed report, but that's okay. We'll go with that. Also, apparently, if you really want to watch the whole thing, you can. And Kathy Hochul basically got into it with Elise Stefanik. And Stefanik kind of demonstrated what these people, I'm telling you, man, if you are voting for Democrats right now, you are a complete, utter moron. Complete, utter moron. I'm sorry. You just are. No, I'm not sorry. Forget it. I'm not sorry. You are a moron. You believe these people are the high and mighty righteous. You believe these people are the the highly educated, highly intelligent. Believe me, education does not equal intelligence. Education today equals indoctrination, and that's exactly what's going on with it. Okay? That's exactly what's going on. And these people, the American people need to wake up. This leftist lunacy has got to stop. We are a nation of laws. Those laws must be enforced. Those laws are enforceable by people with guns. You don't like any of that? Go somewhere else. Seriously. If you don't want to be, if you really want to be a criminal, head off to any other third world country. You can go. Just go. Just go. All right. So one of the things that has been running around in terms of the what's been happening up on the Hill and everything else is the Doge cuts. So the Doge cuts are now being codified. That's right. Many Doge cuts, especially the ones to foreign aid, public media, which again, foreign aid and public media, they literally are nowhere in the Constitution. I defy you to look up, because you'll actually learn something. It's amazing, but look it up. And I'm kind of speaking to the Democrat morons. If you open that up and you read between Article 1, under Article 1, Section 8, there's a pretty comprehensive yet small list of what the federal government is supposed to be legislating on. And not one single thing in there talks about foreign aid or money to go to foreign aid, nor does it talk about, hey, we're going to fund the public media. In fact, the First Amendment was written in order to keep the government's hands off of the media. Period. Okay? Now, the House approves a bill that is codifying the $9.4 billion in Doge cuts to foreign aid and public media. It's now going to go to the Senate because, remember, like I've told you before, you have to have the House has to pass it, the Senate has to pass it, and the Senate has to pass what the House passes, or the Senate passes their bill first, then it goes to the House. Both houses have to pass it, and the language has to be equal, because if the language is not equal, it needs to be rectified. So if this bill, which has been approved in the House, goes over to the Senate, and the Senate makes changes to it, it has to go back to the House in order to get re-voted on again. So hopefully, the Senate is actually going to go ahead and let this pass, even if it passes along party lines. They don't need the 60 in order to make it. Okay? So, this bill was introduced by House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, and it went ahead and passed 214 to 212. It now goes on to the Senate, where it's likely going to pass along party lines. As in the House, only a majority will need to pass because it's not subject to the 60-vote filibuster threshold. So there you go. The 7-page bill eliminates funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which funds the Public Broadcasting Service, and National Public Radio. Now, keep in mind, both the PBS and NPR, okay, both the PBS and NPR are suing the Trump administration for stopping their funding. If this bill passes, that lawsuit goes away. It just literally does. It's going to disappear because it won't be needed anymore. Okay? Now, it also rescinds a $15 million that was supposed to be going to the Institute of Peace, which again, it's not even part of the Constitution at all. and $22 million from the African Development Foundation, which again, not part of the Constitution at all. Apparently, it also scales back millions of dollars in economic assistance through the USAID, which again is not a part of the Constitution whatsoever. So, yeah, there you go. The bill also codifies some of the cuts made by the Department of Government Efficiency, saving taxpayers about $180 billion per taxpayer, according to the website, the Doge website. So the House Rules Committee originally advanced the bill to the floor on June 10th in an 8-4 vote. So, yeah, there you go. Yep. So there you go. And, yeah. So they actually are starting to do some of the things that they are supposed to do. They're actually starting to come forward and get this stuff done. So anyway, all right. So it looks like that, yeah, Israel is attacking Iran right now, or going to bomb Iran right now. And frankly, doesn't surprise me any. Doesn't surprise me any whatsoever. I'll probably have more on that coming up tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, tomorrow is Friday. So Friday is a 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific night. So do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are there, signed up and signed in, you will you need to search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time I go live. Also, too, don't forget to hit those thumbs up and thumbs down, or thumbs down, either way, on all of my platforms, whether it's X, Facebook, YouTube, or, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. Sorry about the technical difficulties early, but hopefully tomorrow will be a much better situation. We will see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.